a lot is going on. It's
I know.
epic
It's
time.
it's there has been a lot going on, and it's a good thing though. Okay, we're live on all of our platforms. We're going to allow people time to come in, and I'm going to try to choke some of this coffee down so I can become awake. But just a couple of things. We are getting censored, which is fine. But if you could share to a page or to a group, that'd be cool. Don't forget we're on YouTube, Soldier One Studios YouTube channel. You can also watch on SoloGnetwork.com. More coming about that soon. I'm so out of it. Thank you. Thank you for your continued love and support and contributions that allow us to keep doing this by the seat of our pants every day. That's not a complaint because that's how it works in the 5D plus. We don't get a savings account. We don't get guarantees. We just have what we need every day when we go to work. So we'll be right back in a minute, 19 seconds with my beautiful, beloved, brave sister, Maja. I missed her. Somebody said that we better repent from teaching people to channel demons and fallen angels. Welcome to the show, whoever you are. Bring your open mind and whatever else you want to bring. I am so out of it, Maja. Oh, wait a minute. I had you turned off. Hang on. I'm sorry. I said I'm so out of it. I'm glad to have you back, though, because you're like one of my favorite people to talk to.
Todd, so I was thinking today, because I wasn't feeling really my best in the last couple of days, and I'm like, okay, so ideally, I would like to feel my best when I'm on Soulology, but when I talk to you, like, it's okay, however I feel, and I mean, this is what we do now. It's okay to show up how you are, so, it's okay if you're out.
Yeah, I agree. I was telling you that I was just looking at the numbers. So we did 80 broadcasts in November, or through November 30th, which would have been Monday, I think. And we did 144 hours of streaming. Exactly 144. I thought, oh my God, you can't make this shift up, right? And then anyway, so I got off of that program Friday night, and all day Saturday and half a day Sunday, I was in bed. I ate soup. I just went through really just physicals, lucid dreams and physical, DNA processing or whatever, in all its different ways, right? And then we had a show that I was supposed to be on and produce with like 5 other people. And Morgan's like, "Are you going to do this?" I'm like, "No." I mean, I never say that. I always show up. But I ended up getting up, and then I ended up turning it on, got them on, and then I went ahead and stayed on the show. We had a great show. But I've just been like, almost like sleepwalking. And I know it's okay. You said you were well, first of all, you said that every time Morgan contacts you, you're always like coming out of an abyss or something. Is it?
I mean, it's always 1 week before I'm live. I'm in a process. So when she contacts me, I'm like, okay, it's time again. Let's do this. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think there's. Okay, so now we've probably done 10 shows together over the years, and we're this month. In fact, we got to be within like we got to be within like 15 shows of getting to our 2,500th episode, 2,500.
Wow.
And early on, not early on, but like I'd say like somewhere like around 800 or 1,000 episodes, probably around the time I met you, maybe 600, 700. I started to notice that certain people, we had a certain, like, I don't know how to explain it, but there was a certain resonance or frequency, synchronicity or something, and things would happen that were not typical, telling me that, hey, this is okay, everything's in line, like what you just said. And then as time's gone on, I've noticed it more and more and more. Mm-hmm. So it's like one of the things that's happening with 2020 is the crazy imaginary stuff is all coming to be real. Mm-hmm. Have you experienced that?
Yeah. I mean, where to start? I feel now, I was just talking about this with a friend earlier today. I feel that all the doors are open now. What maybe we were struggling to bring out before, or we were not understood, or was kind of weird. Everything is okay now.
Yeah.
And so many people are having experiences that were perceived as strange, unusual, and like telepathy, feeling energy, like people that I wouldn't expect, they start talking to me about energy. Or I was at one dinner a couple of weeks ago, and somebody that I met there asked me, so what do you do? And I'm like, I'll take the face. What is it? And I said, I'm trying to find the right words to explain what I do. And he's like, okay, say it. And I start explaining code activation, but I didn't use these words. And he says, you activate DNA. And I'm like, what? Wow. Where?
Wow.
No, so it's definitely happening. Yeah.
I have a friend that lives here in the town that I live in. We moved. We got a house, by the way. We got a place after all these years, right? We've been here since June. Anyway, he's been on the show 3 or 4 times. He's going to be on either tomorrow night or this weekend. He's going to come over to the studio. We're going to sit down and talk. Anyway, he's a young guy. He's probably 28, maybe something like that. And but he's been awake since he was 1 year old. So, like he was telling me the other night, like for the first 10 years, he kept hearing all these voices, and they were downloading him and talking to him and this and that. And he just had a horrible childhood. But anyway, we were talking about, I stopped by there this past week and just visited with him for about an hour and a half. And he's very much spends 95% of his time in solitude, creating universes with his computer, and also creating universes and planets and such with his mind. So he's a very advanced soul. And we were talking, and I said to him, like, because he's like one of the only people I can talk to in these terms. And I was like, dude, what's going on? Like, I hadn't talked to him in like 3 months. He said, I don't know. Like, he said, it's moving so fast. He said, telepathy is moving so fast. He said, my biggest problem now is being patient. Like everything that I've been given and shown is all coming to pass. And I was just like, yeah, there's something that's going on that I can't even explain. Like I don't have the words for it. I just say to myself, shut up and just go do,
Yeah.
chop wood, carry water, right?
So one big thing that I feel is happening right now, I mean, kind of, well, we've been in preparation for this for so long, but it feels to me that like the last pieces of the puzzle are being put together now in December for sacred union,
Yeah.
but embodied. I
Yeah.
don't know if I can explain this in words because I'm just experiencing this now. And like one thing that happened to me in the last 2 weeks or so, I experienced an like next level heart expansion
Mm.
where I literally felt like never before that my physical body is being dismembered, and I am my capacity to perceive love as a state of being suddenly opened up so much, like as if uh, my physical body is not a barrier anymore. In a way, I don't know if I'm explaining this correctly
Mm-hmm.
because it's quite new, but like the ultimate merging with everything that is.
Yeah.
This is what I feel is happening now, like for real.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
yeah,
we've had a lot of people obviously on the show, and but since I want to say since the 1st of October, so what's that, October, November? A lot of people have been saying what you're saying in different ways, and also in conveying what they've experienced. So I can say the same thing. I can identify with what you're saying, and I can tell you different things that happened to me or happened to Morgan or happened to both of us and to individuals. It's not just couples, like you were saying. It's actually, this is about the individual. Some of that stuff's being replicated in relationships, not necessarily romantic. Like we've got a very, very close friends that carry the divine union frequency, and they're brothers, right? They're non-romantic. So, androgynous beings, couples, other types of relationships. But a lot of people have come on the show and talked about what you just said, and especially since the 11/11. That these last few weeks before the solstice were being like squeezed out, right? So there's been a lot of projection and acting out, and but I think there's also been a lot more going back to the heart space, going back to love, getting balance quickly, processing quickly, and judgments kind of going away.
yeah, yeah. That resonates. And I mean, what I see big time for me and people around me is, and I write about this, is really bringing the sacred into the human and merging both. So it's not anymore like I go meditate and I connect to the divine,
Yeah,
like my higher self there. No, like it's all here, it's all you,
yeah,
it's all happening. Like the unity exists whether you meditate or not, when you are doing whatever, taking the trash, working, fighting, whatever you're doing, like there is unity. And I feel all the time this oneness, the connection with everything, my perception or the capacity of my human self to perceive oneness has just,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I think that the human is online now, and a lot of people have talked about it. It's happened to Morgan and I too over the last, maybe 3 to 6 months. I can't really pin it down. But what I'm saying is a lot of our experiences and experiences that people have come on the show and talked about, we've had external players, right? Like a dragon energy or a galactic, being, but now it all seems to be coming from ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not okay. So another thing I've noticed is, and I've been talking about it, and it's like what you were talking about earlier. I don't know if I can explain it, but it's like I will go through my day and it's like reading a book. So I talk to this person in the morning, and then the next thing I know, I walk outside and there's a bird, and then and everything is making sense. Like I'm turning the pages, and one of those things that happens is I'll message a human or talk to a human, and it's like the message that's coming through, and it happens a lot on the show, is like the type of message I would get from Dimension, but now it's coming from somebody talking to me. You know what I mean? Does that
Yeah.
sound weird? Yeah.
I mean, so what I got, so if we believe in oneness, right, then we are everything. We are the galactics, we are the gods, we are whoever, the ascended masters. And I think we humans, because we so deeply forgot our divine nature, it would, like, we couldn't have accepted that we are all of
Right.
this. So we had our guides, the higher self, whatever. All of this there is outside, just to help us to slowly transition into remembrance that we are everything, like we are God, like literally God, the universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, because to to acknowledge that you are so powerful, but not powerful in the sense of overpowering someone. We know what we mean powerful. Powerful, we mean by just full of love, and we can do anything. We are limitless creators.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, and I think this is what now is really being anchored, like, into our human experience. We are realizing that this is true now, not like at some point in the future when we heal enough or whatever. Like, it's now, it's here, it's happening.
I agree. And it's like and of course, the only thing that's ever held us back has been our belief systems. And the same holds true now, but there's a difference now. There seems to be like a collective. It's more than just available and accessible. There's enough of this energy, of this universal energy, or whatever you want to call it, that's affecting us, and maybe some more than others at the beginning, but it's affecting us. It's changing everything. It's changing, the way. I mean, think about the telepathy alone, like the intuition, the telepathy. And I know you can relate to this. Like, I can't even like function. Like, I write a paper. I wrote a paper 2 days ago, one piece of paper, and it took me 2 hours to write this little summary, right, about Sology. So I get one of those dry erase boards. I just get a little one, and I can write it there with a visual, like in 3 minutes. But if I have to write it, so there's like these 3D things, these normal things, even the way you talk to people, even the way you write to people, it's not the same anymore. It's not. It really isn't. It's a little bit of a challenge, but it's actually gotten easier for me because I don't, like one of my kids hit me up a couple nights ago. I just talked to him like the night before. I wasn't in shape to I didn't want to answer him for the second message. I just didn't say anything. I don't know. To me, it's okay now. I don't spend too much time thinking about it. It's just weird.
Yeah, I mean, for me, what I feel now, for me, one thing, it has become way easier to really express myself 100% authentically, even in situations when I would previously think, well, maybe I should just keep it down a little bit because they will not understand. And now I will go, and I am very calm in expressing myself in this situation. And another thing is I am not really bothered by if people don't understand, or like, I'm just, it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So you're not having an issue being direct, right? And I think that's part of what's happening. I've noticed over the last couple of months because we've talked about it, and that is that we are being more direct. Like people are beginning to speak direct and not hold back, not suppress things. I
Yeah.
don't know. There's something that's happening that's natural. It's like natural, like the seasons changing natural. And I'm seeing evidence of it. I'm seeing where no matter what we do, it's happening anyway, kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just happening.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I have practiced for so many years to learning that it's okay to be myself. So now, yeah, I feel comfortable. I feel solid in being myself. So even if I'm direct, or if I express myself as I am, I can share it very clearly, and my energy supports my words, like it's completely aligned 100%.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm okay. If it lands, it's okay. If it doesn't, it's okay.
Yes.
No, because I'm okay with it not being okay. So it's all fine.
This is what came to me the other day. Candace just said it here. No more enabling is what is she says is what feels like what is happening. Then she said something else here. She said holding back was enabling a reality, and our honesty will shift it all. So this just happened to me. Okay. So I had a pattern, and I'm sure a lot of people did, but I had a specific pattern. I don't know how deep I want to go here, but and that pattern was in certain type of relationship where I didn't say anything. I would say something at a certain point, but what would happen is I would just tolerate it. I wouldn't say anything because whatever reason, like because of the ways that I tried, and this has been lifelong. They didn't work. I wasn't able to communicate it. Maybe it wasn't my deal. Maybe it wasn't my shit,
Yeah.
And I don't know. Whatever it was, it came to the surface this past week. And I realized I was like, those are the exact words I used. I was like, I'm enabling by not saying anything. And the cycle is that at a certain point, it's a breaking point for me. And then I go, fuck you, which that's not the way. Right. So yeah, I really can relate to what Candace said. And the other thing that I'm realizing through this episode and many other ones and observing too is that it's okay. This stuff's coming up. We're seeing it now. We don't need to beat a dead horse. We don't need to sit there and go, oh my God, you did this. And oh my God, you did that. And oh my God, I did this. Right. You're like, okay, I got it now.
Yeah.
And then you just, like an eraser, you just erase it and you move forward. Right.
And like Candice said, I mean, like, we are creators all the time, even if we create unconsciously, right?
Yeah.
So by holding back and by not being our authentic self, we were perpetuating that situation, that system.
Yeah.
It's like nobody created that, like we created that. And now, I mean, of course, everything is coming, like higher frequencies flowing in, so many people have done the work, and we courageously are stepping into more authenticity. So like we are just raising the frequency, and it's becoming well just easier, and we just don't wanna.
That's right. And it's easier.
Yeah.
It's easier. And another part of the enabling the previous reality, right? Let's put it that way. Or enabling the old paradigm is if we hide
Yes.
who we are.
Yes.
Look, I I've been pretty open, and I'm just using myself as an example. I handle life the way I handle it. I used to be very, very wild. I still like to have a little honey whiskey. I still like to have a couple of cold beers. You know, I still like to get naked, build a fire, and howl at the moon every now and then.
Yeah.
But I guess what I'm trying to say is that I think it doesn't just work. It's not just applicable in our relationships and our interactions that we're enabling by not saying something. Because what is that? You're hiding something. It's also just in the way we are. If I like to watch cartoons on Saturday in my underwear and never get off the couch, then so be it. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know how to explain it, but the more we bring our true nature to the table, to be seen, the better off we are. And I'm not saying that's easy, but
in the transition was not easy. Like for me, it wasn't easy.
yeah.
Like when you are changing a pattern, when you are starting to step out with what you were hiding because you were afraid, so it's not easy when you make the change, but then the more you do it and then you see some other people do it, then slowly or actually it happens fast now, it becomes easier, and then you're like, why was I ever doing it differently?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and we thought, well, we can't do it because we're not safe,
Yeah.
because I'm going to embarrass myself, because what will people think,
Yeah.
But the reality is the other people had never had anything to do with it. That's what's coming in for me. I never had a big problem with what other people thought, like a lot of people have. That's just whatever. But what I have noticed is that the revelation, the understanding coming to people that, wait a minute, I'm in charge of my own safety. I'm in charge of my own level of embarrassment or whatever. It's not in anybody else's hands. And I think that's, here we go. So I think that's where it must be you. This is happening to me all the time though. But that must be where the oneness is taking on, a physical presence, which is I'm recognizing things in other people. They're recognizing it in me. Less has to be said. And, when something happens that used to be embarrassing or, it just doesn't have the same charge anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
It's less judgment. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I still, for example, I was nervous today before the live, like always. This is
Really?
just how it is for me, and but like I take it as a part of my experience. This is how it is, and it's way less difficult. Like before, I would be nervous. I don't know, like the first time when I was on here with you, I was so nervous.
Were you really?
I asked a bunch of friends, can you hold space for me today?
Yeah. That surprises me. You're such a natural too. That's surprising.
Thank you. I mean, I feel like I am made to be speaking to people,
Yeah.
but I still get nervous. And sometimes I blush a lot, and I just stopped resisting, and it's way easier when I just accept it. It's there, fine. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, what a year, right? I mean, like, what a year. Like, there's still 28 days left in December.
Oh, yeah.
Seriously, I mean, it's like even to the solstice is 18 days. And God, every single month was, first of all, every month seemed like it lasted longer than the previous month. And it was bigger energetically. It's like I'm just amazed at how much we've done and gone through. I say gone through, but how much we've experienced in 2020. And yet, if you look at the global stage, everything looks crazy. But it's like I don't even have to. And I'm hearing a lot of other people like this too. There was a lot of people attached to the presidential election, to COVID, to quarantine and mask, and now it's starting to go away. It's like it's not a topic anymore.
Yeah.
It's just like, you know what? We're more important. We're the ones that create this. If we want to change that, we just keep changing ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's yeah, so much has happened and it's all building up. I feel the solstice day as a like peak point. I mean, of course we know that we live in a multidimensional universe, but we are humans. We have the calendar, we have time, and we focus some stuff on certain points. And I feel solstice day.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, a lot of people have talked about that, and getting back to the divine union thing. So March 11th, I just basically witnessed it, but I mean, we connected that night, and we were told that the divine union had reached a point where the conception of the golden child energy occurred, and that it would be a pregnancy that would go through till the solstice, and that the golden energy, the third energy, the golden child would be birthed around that time, which this is the age of the Trinity. And that's basically, that was the due date. In fact, we know somebody that's in Costa Rica that's due on that date or right around that date. And if you think about it too, I know it sounds crazy, but the lockdown occurred in March. So what do you think people were doing? They were stuck in their house. I bet you there's going to be a whole bunch of babies born in December, late December and early January. But think about the energy that's bringing to the earth, because these kids are coming in lit.
Yes, the children are just like, I see them like lined up, the souls, and they're like, go, 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 just coming. The new children that are coming,
Amazing, right?
yeah. And this what I wanted to say, and I lost the thought before. So what is happening, like still right now, like with COVID, with the lockdowns, with the election, with the restrictions, with everything. I mean, humanity is going through the process of awakening, right? Each of us who has experienced that, we know that there is the shadow work, the how you call it, like the valley of tears. I don't know, like when everything seems so horrible, like all the stuff that you're pushing away starts coming up, because in the beginning you're like, when you start the journey, ooh, love and light, unicorns, everything flying, ooh, so good. And then you come to a point when the light starts bringing up that darkness that you pushed like all the way down. And it's like, so this is also awakening, really? Like the shadow stuff. And I feel for the collective now, it's like all the shadows are coming. This is the shadow work.
True. That's true. Yeah.
It's very good. Like for me, it's very, I mean, of course, I'm not enjoying the restrictions because I don't like to be restricted or told what to do. But I feel this is just part of collective awakening.
Yeah, it is.
The widest level. We are not talking now about a small group, but like the global collective of humans.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, if you so, and I think the other thing that's happening too, part of the reason that's happening is because whether people are conscious of it or not, telepathy has expanded and continues to expand.
Mm.
So there's not so much reliance on the typical means of getting information, like through the newspaper and through TV shows and movies. And I think that there's more consciousness available because of this telepathy and because of the circumstances. And more and more people are from here going, no, I'm not
Yeah,
going to do that, you know.
because so this is my cat. Just if somebody's wondering, what's this white thing that that
I
is
see her. Oh, she's pretty. She is white. What's her name?
Satoshi. He's
Satoshi.
uh,
Satoshi. That's a cool name. Satoshi. Ah.
um, wait. So what did I want to say? What were we
I don't
talking
know. We're in the same boat. I have no idea. Oh, we were talking about telepathy and
about?
yeah,
So I wanted to say that for me it's very exciting, and I know for many people it's difficult, but for me it's exciting to observe the confusion that is arising in the global collective because of so many opposing information that are available right now. Like, if you take for COVID, there is a bunch of doctors who are saying this is very dangerous, mask everything.
hmm
There is groups of doctors who are saying no, this is not, it's not that dangerous. We should not wear masks and lockdown. So two opposing, like polar opposites,
hmm
like what to believe. And people who are not used to listening to themselves and just feeling into, okay, what do I feel that is true? Those who perceive through the mind and receive this
yeah,
two pieces of information that are directly opposing, what happens then? There is confusion. And
yes,
whom I trust, and then people will be in a situation where they don't trust anymore, and then this is the shift point where you need to turn into something intangible, and you will turn within. This
yeah,
is what I see now with all of this, like censorship, and then so many other channels are opening and alternative information. But ultimately, I feel this is all leading us back to ourself, our self leadership. What do I feel is true? Like by feeling, when I tune into it, when I feel through my heart, because how can you know otherwise?
that's right. That's right. Yeah, because you get to the point, and that's because so much of this stuff is so hard to explain. But so you get to the point where you go, there's a third choice, right?
Yeah,
It's me. It's
yes,
not that polarity, and it's not that polarity, and you're right. Keywords confusion, right? And Candace said it too. She's had waves and waves of confusion. Where's it coming from? And the confusion. I used to tell Morgan that all the time. She's, how you feeling? I'm like, I'm confused. She'd say, good, because that comes right before clarity, right? So that's a good thing, right? Um, but and I think the other thing is too, like some of the information that's coming out is kind of like the stuff that's been hidden. We're talking about esoteric stuff and Illuminati and secret space, and all this stuff is starting to creep its way out. And to me, it's just going to further that whole confusion. And ultimately, people to say, you know what, I've had enough. I think I'll take my chances and I'll pick myself,
yeah,
right? And yeah,
yeah. Somebody is saying, "Let's dance." Yes, like this is what's happening now.
true,
Time, like
it's true.
yeah, and it's what I feel also. I mean, I don't follow media, so I don't really know, but I have the feeling that the era of celebrities and famous
Mhm.
is over.
Yeah.
celebrities, influencers, all of these who people trusted because they were famous.
Yeah.
I think this is just ending. Like,
That's a good point.
yeah,
That's
those
a good point. Yeah.
pedestal, like higher.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great point. And I think the other thing that's kind of paradoxical and ironic is all this confusion is brought on by not being able to trust the two polarities that are presenting themselves, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, we're being asked to trust.
Mhm.
Like, you know, trust yourself, trust your partner, trust other brothers and sisters. Like, there's no way we can continue to expand in our sovereignty and our reality that we are one with the universe, you know, if we don't trust.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It
Yeah.
sounds crazy,
Yeah.
but that third choice is we're choosing the universe at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not a it doesn't work any other way.
Yeah. And through all of this confusion and people having very strong opinions also, like
Mm.
everybody has an opinion now.
Mm-hmm.
What I hear many of my friends talking about is I am now becoming very clear of who is my soul family,
Yeah.
who understands what I'm saying, who accepts me even if we have different opinions. So I'm now seeing who are the people who perceive me through the heart.
Yeah.
I think now true communities will form because
Yeah.
people will really see through the heart, and they will start coming together. Now I think it's the time of community.
Yeah. I've seen that this year. We
Yeah,
we've been a part of it, both in the physical and then in the virtual. That's how, after all this time, that's how. And I think we go back to October or September, and all of a sudden, all these things started happening organically.
yeah,
Somebody said, "I want to open an Instagram for Soulology." Somebody said, "I want to help you put your website together," and then all these pieces came in. And I'm only giving that as an example because I've actually watched it happen with other people. And I think that the key there is, and again, here we go, because it's not normal for us to not want to control and hold on to things. In the old paradigm, what is mine is yours, but what is yours is yours. That's how it worked, right? What's yours is mine, but what's mine is mine. You know what I mean? It's like it doesn't work that way now. It doesn't work that way. So I think the organic thing is people just show up, because they come and say, "Hey, I want to do this, I want to do that," and I feel bad. I wish I can't, I don't have anything to pay you, and they say, "I don't care. I don't care. Uh, I just know I'm supposed to do this."
yeah,
And so there's something about whatever you have, you bring it to the table. You don't try to measure it and say, "Oh, look, I brought this and you only brought that," or I'm bringing money and you're bringing food, or you know what I mean? It's like it doesn't matter. It's
yeah.
all energy.
I feel co-creation is only possible when you step into the space of co-creation from your sovereignty,
Yeah.
which means that you are not trying to get anything from the
Right.
other,
Right.
and also not trying to save anyone. You are just bringing your contribution in a very balanced way, and then together we create something that enriches all of us and doesn't
Yeah.
deplete anyone. I think this is it.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no unconscious agenda or conscious agenda. Absolutely. I mean, that's another thing with the telepathy, right? Is like you can see what's happening. So then you have this challenge of, do I say something to this person? Do I tell them, hey, I can see right through you? You know what I mean? Like the telepathy is getting so strong, it's not that we don't trust it. We just don't know, do we say something? And I'm finding myself saying less and less and less. I just really, I'm just, I don't say anything. Morgan came in here last night. She's like, did you talk to so-and-so? And I said, no, I don't talk to anybody. I talk to people on this show and then maybe one or two short calls a week. And that's it.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with that, but I don't know. Everything to me, that would seem. Have you ever had like memories like of Atlantis? Uh, I can speak to that where in the scene, like there's no talking. Like there's a tone going on, there's light, you see the other person, the communication's there, but there's no talking.
Yeah, right? But you know what's funny for me? Because I was always if you hear something, it's my cat.
That's okay.
I was always the quiet one, so I was always, tuning into the energy, reading what people are thinking and feeling, and I was probably not feeling safe to share.
Yeah.
But now I see that I'm talking more.
Yeah.
Because I feel more solid and safe and comfortable in what I share, and people want to hear it.
Yeah.
So I feel I'm talking more now than before.
Yeah. Well, Morgan talks about this, and basically we're perfect examples. So I talked a lot. She was like you. She didn't talk very much, and so now I just told you, and I've been saying it for months. I'm talking less and less and less, and people like you and her are talking more and more and more. Mm-hmm. And at some point, it'll all level off, I'm sure. But if you haven't been talking, and you're just now getting the nerve to be able to do that on a consistent basis, sometimes you're gonna, sometimes you're gonna speak more than maybe you want to, and on the other hand, I might hold in more than be too quiet. But I think this is a symptom of the balance and the equality that's occurring.
Yeah.
It's just
the telepathy that you mentioned, like it's happening parallel. It's full on. Yeah. Like I've always been able to read people's thoughts, but like it happens now, it's just out of this world. Like or like this. It's
very true.
People as well. Like it's
very true. And then of course there's been a lot of talk all year long and last year about this great divide. People that are choosing, let's just say, choosing 5D timeline, choosing 3D timeline. I don't know how that's all going, but what I do know is that from what I've observed, mostly, I haven't experienced too much of it, but I'm not saying it won't happen to me, but the things that we're not owning up to within ourselves, the things that we are blaming on other people, and externalizing, they're getting really loud and really painful.
Oh yeah.
Like really, and they're happening every month. Like, it's not going to go away.
I feel this. Oh, sorry. I wanted to say something else.
Good. No, I'm good. I didn't say nothing.
I wanted to jump in so I don't forget,
Yeah, do it. Just interrupt me. I don't care.
No, I feel that in this December, this month, our, like, the stuff that we were most trying to avoid all of our life, this will come up. This month is gonna be painful, but it's gonna be at the same time the gateway.
Yeah.
This ultimate expansion that is happening.
That resonates a lot. It really does. Because I've watched it and I'm sitting here going, because several months ago, maybe last year, I was talking to Morgan and I'm like, because at the time I was purging a lot, like we all do, but it was very physical, right? Like, I mean, in all kinds of ways. So she's like, you can ask to do that in dream state or with ease and grace. So I did. And I started to process, and I still do. A lot of the purging is through lucid dreams, right? And which is cool because I don't have to deal with the human, emotional stuff, right? And all that. But what I noticed, and this has been building up in the last 2 months, like I've never had a problem coming on here 2, 3, 4, 5 times a day, no matter what my situation is. Once I turn the camera on, I'm good, right? But over the last couple of months, it's gotten harder and harder and harder. And one of the things I'm noticing, I'm asking myself, I'm going to do this today. When I get done today, I'm going to sit down by myself. What the hell do I need to do? Because my body is telling me something. I don't know what it's telling me. Sleep more, drink more water. I don't know what it's saying, but I know it's my body's way of doing what you're talking about, like dealing with stuff. I'm just doing it in a different way, and I know I am.
Yeah, I do so much less work since early summer this year. I just can't.
Right?
I need so much more rest, or not even rest. Sometimes I just sit here, like on my chair in front of the computer, and I'm in whatever, don't know.
That's what I do. I'm serious.
Yeah.
Are you sleeping like long periods of time? I mean, like when you go to bed at night, do you sleep through the night?
Yeah, now, yeah. The last
See, I
month,
don't.
sleep through the night, but dreaming a lot in the
Yeah,
last couple of
yeah.
months. So much happening in dream time. So
I
much.
know. It's pretty cool. Some of the dreams I've had, and there has been a lot of lucid dreams in the last 2 or 3 months. But and I have a lot of recall. I can remember them, you know. But one of the things I've struggled with, I've heard other people talking about, is the sleeping. So, like in the last 5 days, I think I've got up at 4:44 3 times and 5:55 one time. Today I got up at 7. So there's not a lot of not like it's like 3 or 4 hours, 2 to 4 hours, and then I'm up, and then I go through like a. I came down here this morning. I did like 2 hours of work. I went upstairs. I made some breakfast. Then I laid on the couch and turned a documentary on, and then next thing I know, I'm asleep.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then I got to get ready for the show, and I'm like, oh my god, how am I going to do this? You know what I mean? You're like, I don't know.
When I woke up, I was like, and I know this feeling. I woke up, where am I? Where am I? Because I
Yeah,
did a huge timeline jump.
yeah,
It always happens, and I needed 1 hour. I was 1 hour in bed to to land in this new reality
yeah.
that looks the same, but I know it's not the same.
No. Have you ever seen this movie called Mr. Nobody? You ever
Yeah,
seen? Okay, so so it was not this Saturday, but last Saturday, 2 Saturdays ago. So we were hanging out, we were watching a movie. It wasn't that one, and all of a sudden, Morgan's like, "Oh my god, I feel like I'm gonna get sick." Like that means that energy's coming in. So, and it was like 12 o'clock at night, and so and so what happened was about 30 seconds later, the electricity went out. So then we walked outside the front yard, and everybody had power except for our house. And I'm like, what the hell's going on here? And then I looked up, and it looked so weird. Like it was like a timeline shift. And I told her, I said, I feel like the clock was going like that. It stopped, and now it's going like that. So then the next Saturday, we're watching that movie, Mr. Nobody. And that's what happens, right? It all stops and goes back. And then somebody tells me that, I think it was yesterday on a show. that this is what happened, right? And I'm wondering if that's what, because we think things are going to happen in an instant on the linear timeline, but it really doesn't happen that way. And I'm wondering if that's the axis shifting, and we're in that period right now.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Like, I now just go with the flow. I don't really ask myself anymore what's happening.
Yeah.
Maybe I ask it for a little bit, and then I'm like, yeah, fine. And let me just roll.
I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree with that. This friend of mine came in from out of town a couple of weekends ago, and she's been awake since since the harmonic convergence, like 1987. Very powerful lady, and so she's like, Todd, I don't know what the hell's going on. I keep asking my team, what do I need to do? Because that's what we've always done, right? Like since you woke up, you're always like, okay, what am I working on now? What do I need to do now? And she said, they keep telling me you don't need to do anything now. Just be now.
Yeah.
And I get that. I get that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what reminded me of it. It's like what you said, you don't even ask anymore. It hurts my head. It hurts my head to even, so I don't even want to think about it.
Mm.
I just try to stay active, right?
Yeah.
Like stay active, and that's the best I can do. Like right now, I don't even know how I'm sitting here. I really don't. You know what I'm talking about, because I know you feel the same way, right? It's serious. It's crazy.
It's
it really is.
time.
Have you been surfing any?
Not in the last couple of weeks. I've just been like, the ocean is telling me, no, don't.
Oh yeah, don't go. Yeah.
Then my friend tells me, who went to surf a couple of times in this time, she says that she feels that right now people are very angry, and those who go surf, they release the anger into the water, so the holding the anger. So she never really feels good when she goes in. And this makes sense to me why I'm not called to go in.
There you go.
Very unusual, but it's like, no.
How about the cat? Are you with the cat or other animals? Are you communicating with them?
Well, yeah. He's my guardian. Like, I never liked cats. I was a dog person, but then in my previous place, a cat moved in, street cat, and she gave birth. And then this one looked at me, and he was like, "Oh, we all thought he was gonna die from all the kittens, because he was like really skinny, not hanging out with the others." But he looked at me and he said, "I'm your cat."
Uh-oh.
Okay, but
yeah,
I love this cat now, and
yeah, they're cool.
he's my guardian.
Yeah, they're very cool. Yeah. So I don't know if you're before we get out of here, if you want to do anything. Now you're at irresistibletribe.com, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to put it up here. I don't know if you want to do anything. I don't know if you're up to it, and it doesn't matter to me. I can't even talk. You're
I feel we transmitted what was meant to be transmitted.
What did you say?
I feel we transmitted what was meant to come through.
Yes, I think you're right. Yeah, there's no way to do anything. You look good, though. You look good. You're still in Portugal?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, who else is there? Martin McNichol's there. I don't know how big Portugal is. Martin McNichol's there with his wife, and I believe she's Portuguese, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I know.
Do you huh?
Merita.
You know Marita's there. Okay. Martin McNichol, look him up. We collaborate quite a bit together. He's very, very good. And his wife is oh God, I forgot her name. Elise Marie or something like that. But yeah, they're very cool. They got a kid, beautiful kid, who's about, I want to say he's about a year and a half, maybe. And he's lit. He's like giving them downloads every day. I mean, they have a pretty special thing going. But yeah, you got to check him out. And yeah, because you guys are the same energy. Soul Tribe.
it's time for all of us to come together.
I know it is. I know it is. It's good seeing you. I look forward to seeing you again when we're a little bit more coherent. And, you know what I mean? In 2021. You have a great rest of the year. I love you.